oh, I should not have done that, right? So that is what we will do. Very good point. Any other point? What about how many of you have started chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra not only on Sundays but every single day? Very good. So when we say one round, I hope you are doing one round, right? When we say one round, it is little different calculations. One round is 108 times. You mean that, right? We are on the same page. Okay, great. Otherwise, if you say how many times you are chanting, I am chanting 16 times. 16 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. One, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 16 times. But when we say one round, it means 108 times. And if you are doing 16 rounds, it's 1728 times. It's a big number. So at least few of us here started chanting every single day. Very good. So we'll have a short kirtan and then we'll start the session. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari 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 Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Randana Yamuna Tira Panachari Yamuna Tira Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। So, welcome again. So, our fifth session of this Gita course. Very, very wonderful days, auspicious days of Navaratri. Very soon, we will be coming to Dasara, right? Dasara is the victory of Lord Ram over Ravana. Also, it is a victory of Dharma over Adharma. It is a victory of light over darkness. So Prabhu Ramchandra ji is so wonderful. In the other session I was asking, by the way, how many khandas are there in Ramayana? Those who are not in the other session. 7, very good. 7 khandas. So let's recap quickly. What are those 7 khandas are there? Uttarakhand a little later. Balkan, Ayodhya Kand, Aranya Kand, Kiskinda Kand, Sundar Kand, Yuddha Kand, and 7th is Uttarakhand. So in Balkan what happens? It is about Lord Ram's childhood pastimes. Very little, not much. Then in Ayodhya Kand, marriage, actually the marriage happens and then he goes, he gets cursed, to go to the forest. And then he goes to the Aranyakand, the whole exile of Aranya. Then kidnapping of Mother Sita. Then comes Kiskinda, in search of Mother Sita, right? He comes to very close to our place. What is that place? Hampi, Kiskinda, very close to that. Where he meets with his friend Sugriv, Lord Ram. And then next is a Sundarkand. If you see, all Kandas has a particular names, right? Balkand, Ayodhya Kand. But Sundarkand is a name very specific. Anybody has?
Power and all.
Yes. So it's very specific because Valmiki Rishi was thinking what should be the name of this Kanda, right? So then he said because it's all about Hanumanji searching Mother Sita. So he gave, because Hanumanji's other name is also called as Sundara. So that's why this Kanda is called as a Sundarakand. So he goes and come back, and then finally there is Yuddha Kand, and then there is Uttarakhand. So the point here is that when Prabhu Ramchandra ji was asked to go to forest, and before going, he take blessings from even Kaikai. Can you imagine that person who had asked you to go to forest for 14 years, or rather, how many years? 14 years. So he was asked by to go to forest, and he is going and taking a blessing of Kaikai. Then of course Kaushalya Mataji and Father Dashrath Maharaj. So we take a blessing. So that is the Vedic culture. Before we start any activity, what we do? We seek blessings of our seniors, our elders. We take a blessing. That's the Vedic culture. So today, before we start, we take a blessings of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya. Krishna Prestaya Bhutale. Krishna Prestaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta. Swami Niti Namine. Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve. Namaste Saraswate Deve. Gauravani Pracharine. Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Pachatya Deshatarine. Pachatya Deshatarine. So founder Acharya, our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, he went to the Pachatya Desha. Pachatya means Western countries. And he started this Krishna consciousness. We'll see today. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
प्रभु नित्यानंद
प्रभु नित्यानंद
श्री अद्वैता गदाधर
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर
श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा
श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद
हरे कृष्णा
कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे राम हरे राम
हरे राम
राम राम हरे हरे
राम राम हरे हरे
Start. So this whole session, not only this session, but the particular whole Gita course is dedicated to our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Because of his mercy, we have this opportunity to understand Bhagavad Gita and specially translated and given his special purpose or commentary by Srila Prabhupada. So today we will discuss more about him. So we had how many sessions done? 4 sessions done. Today is the importance of guide. How many of you think that we should have guide in life? Because today we are going to discuss about importance, so everybody is raising hand because that means we should have guide, right? Very smart audience. And of course we have another 4 weeks we will discuss about some of the topics. So what we are going to discuss is about, do I need a guide, right? Everybody, we don't need guide actually, because we have Google friend. We go there and we can get any information, right? We don't need anything. And even if guide is available, are we ready for that? And in market there are a lot of guides. One of them is our friend. Then how do we know who is the real guru or guide? Guide means in Sanskrit is a guru or spiritual master. And then we'll see how he should be representing bona fide, authentic Guru Parampara, right? Tomorrow I can know I am so and so, I become a Guru and then start my own Parampara. No, it should come in a disciplic succession. And today we have maybe the half or maybe less than that, we will discuss about Srila Prabhupada. What are the difficulties and how actually he started this Krishna conscious movement. And of course practical tips of the day at the end. So anyway, it is Ramayana, so I am just one pastimes of Prabhu Ramchandraji. Once what happened, if you see Lord Krishna, there's wonderful pastimes in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, unlimited pastimes. That's a Balakanda. But Prabhu Ramchandraji, it's not many pastimes are mentioned because Valmiki Rishi wanted to quickly go to the next portion, so he did not mention many of the things. So once what happened, Prabhu Ramchandraji started crying. Lakshman started crying, Bharat started crying. They were small babies, they were in a respective cradle, and Shatrughna started crying. And respective mothers tried to console them, pacify them, but none of them were actually able to, get consoled. So finally, they went to their guru, or the Kula Guru. Who was the Kula Guru of Prabhu Ramchandra's family? Vasishtha. So he went to Vasishtha Rishi and said, now you please help. So Vasishtha Rishi came there. And then he started analyzing the situation. So he tried some of the things, but it did not work. Finally, he thought, there is a cradle for Prabhu Ramchandraji, there is a cradle for Lakshmanji, there is a cradle for Bharat, and there is a cradle for Shatrughna. They all are separate. Then he made some thought because Sarvasya Chaha Mrudi Sannimisto. Krishna says, I am situated in everybody's heart. So he gives the intelligence. So Vasishtha Rishi, what did he do? He put Lakshmana in the cradle of Ram and he put Shatrughna in the cradle of Bharat. And for a surprise, suddenly, what to talk about crying, they started laughing and playing. So that is because Ram and Lakshman, they are inseparable. Bharat and Shatrughna, they are inseparable. So that's the beautiful pastimes that we can hear in Ramayana. That was detour actually, because that was not a part of our today's discussion, but I thought it's Ramayana. Okay, so do I need a guide? As Mataji was saying, that we see that in Bhagavad Gita we discuss, right, how we start meditating on the sense object, right? Do you remember the shloka number? 2.62. Dhyato vishayan pusangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha sammoha smruti vibhrama smruti bhanshat buddhi nasha pranashyati. So it starts with dhyato vishayankus. It starts with meditating on the Vishaya. Vishaya means sense object. So now once we start meditating, it could be anything. It could be cell phone or this, or it could be opposite sex, whatever, or whatever the clothes or whatever the object. Then we start contemplating. And with that, we develop attachment. I should have this. Right? And that is the whole industry, the advertisement industry works with that, right? So they put this kind of trigger so that we start meditating on that. So first day we'll see that advertise, oh it's okay. Next day we'll see, I think I should have this. Third time you see that I must have it now. And then fourth day you go to Amazon.com, and then by the time you already realize that you already purchased, now you have started tracking when will be the object coming back, right? So attachment, the attachment develops in lust. I mean the lust is not fulfilled. Krodha, anger. Kama, krodho bijayati. It's very simple, right? In our daily life, we see that even a small desire which is not fulfilled, we get angry. And then when that anger becomes bewilderment, we don't know what we are doing, loss of intelligence lead to the wrong action. So many of the times we understand, we hear the people, and I was telling the last session, right? One person, he was so in a rage of anger, he threw his small baby from the 10th floor. Can you imagine that? We don't even realize what action we are doing. It's wrong action. And by the time we realize, the time has already passed, so we cannot do. So similarly here, what is important is that once you get into the loop, it's very less likely that we can do undo, control Z. Life is not a control Z. If it would have been control Z, it would have been much more easier. But unfortunately, there is no control Z. So, but once we have a choice before we actually get into that loop. And once we get into that loop, then you come only out. Right? You don't get into an intermediate step. It's exit only. So, but it begins with the meditating on the sense object. So, we are exposed to the sense object. And Mataji was saying that this whole hierarchy, that Indriyanya, Paranya, or Indriya, so these all senses are compared, it is analogy compared to the horses. The mind is compared to the ring. The driver is compared to buddhi, intelligence, and the passenger is compared to atma, the soul. So now, as the hierarchy goes, the intelligence should control mind should control the senses. But the senses are just like horses, mind is the rein. If we don't control the mind is the worst enemy. Bhagavad Gita 6.6 says that. Because we are living with our worst enemy, we don't even know that mind is our worst enemy. We discussed in the second session, that the living entity had an external covering, and the external coverings are of two types. What are the two types of covering? The two types of body we have. Subtle body called as a Sukshma Sharira, and gross body is called as a Sthula Sharira. The Sthula Sharira is made of earth, water, fire, air, ether, and the Sukshma Sharira is made of Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi, Recha, Ahankara, Itiyam, Bhinna, Prakrutir, Ashtada. So the 5 gross element and 3 subtle elements, right? Mind, intelligence. So the mind is a part of our body, but we are not a mind. The other day we discussed that, right? Suppose this is my cell phone, right? But I'm not a cell phone. This cell phone belongs to me. I can use cell phone for my purposes. So similarly, this body belongs to me. I'm not a body. That's why I don't say that I head or I body or I leg. I head is spinning, right? Do we say that? We say that my head is spinning. Similarly, my cell phone. That means this body belongs to me, but I am not a body. All of you are here? Physically, you are here. Right? So similarly, mind is also part of body. It's a Sukshma Sharira. So unless and until this mind is controlled, it's not a best friend. It's a worst enemy, Bhagavad Gita says. But if this mind is controlled, it's a best friend. So if this mind is not controlled, it's a worst enemy we are living with. So here, Bhagavad Gita helps us to develop the transcendental intelligence which can actually guide the mind. Not only that, there is another shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Who would like to try? 2.67.
इन्द्रियाणां हि चरतां यन्मनो अनुविधीयते तदस्य हरिता प्रज्ञां वायुर्नवां विवाम्भसि.
Vivambasi. Translation by Mataji.
As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence.
Even a person, knowledgeable person, you see that how beautifully Bhagavad Gita is saying that even one of the senses, if you just lose it, it can actually carry away man's intelligence. We can understand that how powerful the senses are. So even if we have a knowledge, we have good intelligence, but there is a still possibility that the senses, one individual, and unfortunately how many senses we have? 5. One single sense which is so powerful, like this we are 5 times attacked by the different directions, by different senses, and all these senses can actually take away our intelligence, and as soon as our intelligence is lost, mind is a super boss and senses are super boss and they know what they are doing, and we are lost. So it is very important that as here somebody is trying to jump from the cliff to take the extreme step in his life, at which point he has a choice to stop the process before he, right? But as soon as he jumps up, nothing can be done. Only the gravity, the law of gravity will take him down. No problem, no matter what happens. So we are exposed to the sense object. Once exposed, we cannot actually we cannot retreat. So similarly, we are exposed in a different ways. We are exposed to the videos, we are exposed to the big billboards, we are exposed to the media, so many things, advertisement. We are always bombarded with different exposure, and that is all. So initially, it appears to be very nice, this advertisement, but it works very subtly, very sukshma way. And then by the time we realize, we already made our mind to do something. So how we act depends on our exposure. We have to make calculative choice of our exposure. So something is going to happen in the future for our action, take by today. Whatever is going to happen today, tomorrow, depends upon what are the actions that we are going to take today. So if our actions are good, wise, judicious, our results will be wise. If we take a wrong action, the results will be. Not only that, the senses are there. Our senses are also limited. Do you know the story that the 6 blind men finding, so they went and touched the 6 parts of the body of the elephant, and they are expressing that, are describing how this elephant looked like. The person, somebody said, oh, it is a fan. Somebody said it is a wall. Somebody said it is a rope. Somebody said it is a trunk or tree. Somebody said it is a snake. And somebody said it is a spear. Are they right or are they wrong?
Their perspective, they are right.
Their perspective, they are right. Somebody said right, wrong.
I said, yeah, I mean, yeah, he's correct. From their perspective, they are right.
So they are correct, but they are partially correct. So that shows that our senses are limited. We cannot actually understand through our senses the infinite knowledge, right? How our limited knowledge leads us to believe it is to be the whole truth, right? Probably we may even understand wrong what it should be understood truth if we use our senses. So the point here we are saying that even if we have controlled senses, there is a possibility that even one loose sense can actually take us there. Our senses are limited. So that means even if we are knowledgeable, there is always a chance that we can commit mistakes. And that is the point. So that means we definitely need someone who can actually pull us from the blind well or guide us. So now, even if there is some person ready to guide us, are we ready to take the instruction? What do you think? Kali Yuga is very difficult, especially in this age of everybody as our own boss. We don't need any guidance, we don't need anything. That is how we are. So you can see here that somebody is given his hand, but because we are so controlled by our ego, even if somebody is giving a hand, saying, I don't want that. So you can see that how difficult and how challenging situation we are. Not only that, our senses are limited. To error is a human. Even a people as great as Mahatma Gandhiji is, actually they make a mistake. They made a mistake. Mahatma Gandhiji was told that don't go there today. 30th of January 1948, right? There is some danger because some intelligence information that there is some danger to your life. Please don't go there. Gandhiji did not listen. And then you know what happened. Then the another example that Vibhishan, we are talking about Ramayana, Vibhishan advised Ravana, please don't do that. Don't do that. Not only once, multiple occasions. And at one point of time, the father Ravan and his son Indrajit, they got very angry with Vibhishan. He said that you are from our party or you are from our enemy's party. Please get lost from here. Because they were not ready to listen the advice. In fact, it was only Vibhishan who was giving the right advice. And all other ministers were just trying to impress Ravana, saying that you are great, you can enjoy whatever you want, and you fight. You have defeated so many devatas. What to talk about these human beings? Prabhu Ramchandra, but he doesn't know that Prabhu Ramchandra is the Supreme Personality of God, Bhagavan Purushottama. And of course, it was the third example here is given that Alexander and Aristotle, the German invasion of Russia during the cold time, they were told don't do it during the cold time. It would be difficult, and Germany went ahead, and then there was a fight. But at the end, it was Russia who won because they did not pay heed or attention that in a winter time it would be difficult for Germans to fight against Russia, and you know that the very recent example that they are still fighting even today. So we all need guide in a succeed in a life, right? Whether we are running or whether we are doing education or we are doing music, in all aspects of our life we need a guide. If for all these bhautik things or material things, if we need a guide, what to talk about spiritual things? We definitely need a guide. How many of us agree here now? Right? We definitely need a guide in our life. Now, we know from Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, that Arjuna Vishada Yoga, right? Arjuna was in a confused state of mind. And Arjuna was not an ordinary personality. Arjuna has a fantastic self-control. He has a perfect knowledge, Dharma Shastra, Artha Shastra. He was an expert. Still, he was confused. Now, what is the example that he had a self-control? That, you know, right, once Urvashi came to him and then she expected a union with, he said, no. He said that you are like my mother. I don't do that. So you can see that how such a wonderful, knowledgeable person has a control over his senses. Not only that, he had a respect for his elders. And where does that respect actually show? When Dhritarashtra was treated with respect even after the war. Can you imagine the person who throughout his life was giving all the challenging situation, difficulty in trying to kill. Not only that, he was trying to Vastraharana of Draupadi. Such a person, Arjuna actually gave all respect. And you know that Arjuna's meditation to shoot the target, right? Such a concentration. Person of such a caliber was also confused. And what to talk about us 5,000 years later, we are nowhere close to Arjuna, right? In the other session I was talking, just to repeat, maybe Sri Ram and other Prabhus, they would have heard that 5,000 years ago, there was no cell phone, there was no WhatsApp, there was no Twitter, and so many other things. Still Arjuna was in confused state. In fact, by the way, the depression is not today. Depression even during that time, Arjuna was in a full depression, right? So imagine Arjuna, such a wonderful person. He has such a control on his senses, such a knowledgeable person, but he still was confused. And then finally, what was the turning point in his life, or on at least battlefield? He turned to Krishna, a very famous shloka. Anybody would like to? Illa, this one, 2.7. Who would like to recite? We'll follow all the participants here. Will follow.
कार्पण्य दोषोरथ स्वभाव गच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढचेता
यश्रेय चानिचितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेम शाति माम tam prapanna. Mataji, Varsha Mataji is there. Can you recite the shloka here? We will follow. कार्पण्य दोषो बहात स्वभाव
गच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढचेतः
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढचेतः
श्रेयस्या निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. Translation, Prabhuji.
Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of misery
Thank you,
and
Maharaj.
weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is the best for me. Now I am your disciple and soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढचेता शिष्यस्तेऽहं. Now I am your Shishya. Yasreya sha nichitam bruhi tanme. Nichitam means certain. You tell me certain. Now what shall I do? I am confused. This is the situation of Arjun, such a great caliber personality. Now he is surrendering to Supreme Lord Sri Krishna and he is asking, what shall I do now? Right? He is confused. That is what he said. He gave 5-6 reasons in the first chapter, 5 reasons, and in the second chapter he gave a 6th reason, saying that now I am completely confused. I don't know whether should I take left, whether I should take right, or should I go straight. You please tell me what shall I do. And that is the turning point in the life of Arjuna. Arjuna turned to Krishna, whereas his opponent, who was his opponent in the battlefield? Duryodhana. Did he turn to Krishna? No. And that is what we discuss in the second session, the success. Whether we want a temporary solution or the permanent solution, the patch-up solution or the permanent solution. The permanent solution is turning to Krishna. That was the turning point in Arjuna's life. And we know at the end, what happened? It was a victory. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanuda Tatra Sri Vijaya Bhutir Dhruva Sri Itir Matir Mama 18.78. Right? So he said, Sanjaya said, wherever there is a Krishna, and there Arjuna, there is a victory for sure. So that is a turning point. So that Arjuna was not in a false notion that he has all the capability and he is perfect. Like sometimes we think that I am a perfect and I have all the competencies and I can go to that self-help and get all those things and I can enhance my competency. No. Arjuna felt the need of that and Arjuna allowed Krishna to help him, and Krishna himself set such an example that the idea that I am always perfect or I have to be perfect and it breaks us, it will lead us to take help, it will not let us take help from others, because we have to develop an attitude that can actually help us that I can go wrong because I am not perfect, my senses are limited. We discussed in second session our senses are limited because we cannot see for a long distance. We cannot hear outside the range of frequency between 20 to 20,000 hertz, right? So beyond frequency we cannot hear. If we see stick put into the water, it appears to be bent. Right? If you go to hot during the summer time, it appears that mrugajal, right? Even if there is no water. So that means our senses are limited. Our senses can even misguide us. So we have to come to a situation that I can go wrong. If I am corrected, it is for my benefit, it is for my help, and I can be corrected. So if we have that kind of attitude, then we are ready to take a guidance. So Arjuna has shown his own example, Krishna has shown by his own example. So we have to develop a desire that to be helped. So what are the different types of gurus? Yeah, free advice gurus, right? Just to show that they have knowledge. We'll go quickly. Some exploiting people are there. The real guru, one who is in a real knowledge. So what are the characteristics of a real guru. Any thought? Who is expert in Python is a real guru. Yes, Mataji.
He'll talk only about the glories of Krishna.
He will talk only about glories of Lord Sri Krishna. Fantastic. Any guess? Nothing right wrong. We are all learning. Don't worry.
Selfless.
Huh?
Selfless.
Selfless service. Very good. Huh? Bona fide. Right? For example, if you have to take a medical degree, we go to bona fide medical college, right? We don't go to Tom, Dick and Harry college on the road and okay, so I'll just admit there and get degree. No. It should be government of Karnataka, government of India, right? Bona fide, authentic. Very good. You know from who is this personality? Chanakya. You know this wonderful shloka? The person who is in knowledge, he gives a characteristics of this. Very wonderful shloka. If we apply these things, many problems in India specific and any other part of the world will be destroyed. Wonderful shloka. Anybody would like to recite? Atmavat sarva bhuteshu pashyat sa pandita. Okay, so Mataji side translation.
He is a wise man who sees the wives of others as his mother, the wealth of others like Lord of earth and all beings as his own self.
Okay. Matruvat paradareshu, who sees others, other ladies as a matru, right? Mother. And I was telling in the previous session that when Mataji started coming to Krishna conscious program, and one Prabhu was saying, Mataji, please move. So she was just turning here and there, saying that, oh, maybe telling to some other lady. Then again he said, Mataji, please move. So she didn't understand. So later she realized that in ISKCON they call everybody as Mataji. But she was wondering, actually I am not so old, why is calling me? But actually Chanakya said that Matruvat Paradahareshu, seeing others, wife or anybody as a, this is the Vedic culture and we are forgetting everything. And you know at the end result what happens? All challenging situations, so many things, Delhi episode, that episode, this incidents, that incidents. You would like to sit on chair, Mataji? You would like to sit on chair?
No, Prabhuji, we are here for volunteering.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Paradraveshu lostavat. Seeing others' property as waste. Paradraveshu, right? We one of the session, right? We are happy, but if our neighbor has bigger than that, we have problem, right? Paradraveshu lostavat. Atma sarva bhuteshu. He sees other as like himself. Ye pashyati means seeing. Ye pashyati saha pandita. Such a person is called as a pandita. Then we should be very careful when we see others as a pandita. Pandita should have all these characteristics. What are the characteristics? Chanakya Pandita said that person whom should we call as a pandita? Any other except his wife, others, all other are mother. Second, not eyeing others' property, and he sees everybody like he wanted himself. So that is so Guru is not something that who just instruct, but he lives with example of following the principle. Like here we can see that example of Ashwathama killed the sons of Pandava, and Arjuna came to Draupadi. What should we do? Shall I kill? She said no. I know how much challenging, how much difficult, miserable situation I am going because I lost my son. I don't want Krupi, mother of Ashwathama, that she should also go to the same situation. Para dukhi, dukhi. You know what we are? Para dukhi, sukhi. Oh, unko difficulty mila, I am very happy. Krishna, please give him difficulty, I will become happy. So this is, but our Vedic culture is para dukkha dukhi. When we see others in a difficult situation, miserable situation, we get pain. That is the Vedic culture. So person, acharyas are those who actually show by their own example. They are not just they walk the talk, they are walk the talk. They just don't say something and their life is something different. No. Acharyas, gurus are the one who actually lives, their life is actually open book. Another wonderful shloka of a person who is in knowledge. Very wonderful shloka. Once I went to doctor, and his name was Vinay, and his wife's name was Vidya. I said, "You are a very wonderful couple." He said, "How come?" I said, "You are both, your name and your wife's name is in Bhagavad Gita Shloka 5.8." He said, "What is that shloka?" This is the shloka. Anybody would like to recite? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gauri Hastini Shunichaiva Shopake Pandita Samadarshani. Translation.
The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater.
Pandita Samadarshani. The Pandita is that who Samadarshani. Sama means equal. Darshina means vision. He sees what are the things. So Vidya and Vinaya. That is what the shloka was. Vidya Vinaya. So he was very happy. Then he said, "Can you share me the snapshot of?" So I sent. Then he sent to his wife, and both were very happy because their names are in Bhagavad Gita 5.18. So for a person who is in knowledge, Pandita, who sees everybody with the equal vision. Who all are those he will see in equal vision? First he says Brahmana, right? Then Gavi, cow. Hasti, elephant. Then dog and dog eater, which is called as Shopakecha. Pandita Samadarshani. Such a person has an equal vision. Because they say that person might be having the external body different, but within that body there is a Atma. And that Atma is a part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 15.7. What is the 15.7? Mamay Amse Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. All the living entities, there is actually Atma living within the body of all the living entities. There is Atma, which is a part of the Paramatma. And that's why Krishna says Sarva Bhutana. For all the living entities, there is a Atma inside. So Pandita sees with the equal vision that everybody has that same Atma which is coming from the same Father, Paramatma. And when we have such equal vision, do you think that there will be fight? No way. No way. How can we fight? Now today we have fight within, then there is within a family, within a state, within a country, and all over the world there is a fight. Because we are not able to see that equal vision. We are not seeing the externally that we may have some body, but internally actually we are part and parcel of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Mamay Amse Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Very wonderful shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. Titikshasva Karunika Surudha Sarvadehinam Ajata Shatrao Shanta Sadhava Sadhu Bhushanam. So here mention the characters of a sadhu. They are the decorations, bhushanam. They are alankaras, decorations of sadhus. What are those characters of sadhus? Titikshasva. Okay, read the translation Mataji said.
The symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies. He is peaceful. He abides by the spiritual scriptures, and all his characteristics are sublime.
Sublime. Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 25th chapter, shloka number 21. Titikshasva means tolerant. Tam Titikshasva Bharata, right? Bhagavad Gita shloka number 2.14. Matra. What is the shloka? 2.14. That is 1.3. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkha Agama Payana Tam Titikshasva Matra Swarshastu Kaunteya. So, person who is able to tolerate summer and winter, Sukha and Dukkha, such a person, that's Titikshasva. Then Karunika. Karunika means merciful. Suhrudam Sarva Dehinam. He is friendly to all the living entities, not only the Kannadikas or Hindus or human beings. Even he is a Shrudam Sarva Dehinam, all the living entities, even the cat, dog, or goat or whatever, that chicken, beacon, whatever, hen, bean, everything is a fluid. And then Ajata Shatrava. Ajata Shatrava means
Yes, no enemy.
no enemy. Yudhishthira Maharaj is called as Ajata Shatrava. He has no enemies. Ajata Shatrava. Shantaha. Very peaceful. Sadhava Sadhu Bhushanam. His characteristics are sublime. Such a person is a wonderful characteristics which is showing by his own example what one needs to be when one needs to be a guru, what are the characteristics one can actually exemplify. So these are the examples. We saw Chanakya Pandit, we saw Bhagavad Gita 5.18, we saw Bhagavatam 3.25.21, different characteristics of person who can be called as a guru. You are with us here? So who is the real guru? Of course, here it is said that he follows the scripture. That is very important. We cannot do whimsically. Whatever I can be a very selective. Whatever I like, I will do that, and whatever I don't. But we follow the scriptures very importantly. So follow the scriptures. Our Suhrudam Sarva Dehinam. You should be well-wisher of all the living entities. Sense control, compassionate, no exploitative, selfless. Somebody said selfless, right? And good character. Such a person is eligible to become a guru. Who is the in the picture here? In picture here, Madhvacharya, wonderful, great acharya in India. So, if you see Shankaracharya, after Shankaracharya came Ramanujacharya came Madhvacharya, and his all places in Udupi, very close from Bangalore here. So very, very great. So Bharat Bhumi is such a wonderful place where great acharyas. Acharya means who shows by his own example. So Madhvacharya actually showing that living entities and the Lord is different. So you can see always Madhvacharyas at this kind of signature. Now once we find Guru, what shall we do? We just go and sit and then just like we do in office, right? To manager to get good rating and good promotion. No. What are we supposed to do with the Guru? Tadviti 4.34. Yes, Prabhu, then would you like to? Tadviti pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Oh, I thought there is no translation. Yes, Prabhu. Or Mataji, let's give him opportunity to Mataji. Yes, Mataji, any one of the Matajis can do. Yes, please.
Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him
Submissively.
and render service
Unto him.
The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth.
Jnaninas tattva darshina. Darshina means seen. Just now we saw Pandita Samadarshani. Darshina, who has seen, Jnaninas, Gyan, he has seen knowledge. Such a person, what we have to go? Tadviti pranipatena. Pranipatena means with the humility. Not going in a challenging mood. And can you, like people sometimes, Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, he was in United States of America, and one journalist came in a challenging mood. And he said, Swamiji, are you perfect? Right? This is challenging mood. This is not the mood to be, when we go to the spiritual master, we should be pranipatena. So Swamiji said, actually I am not a perfect, but I am following a perfect person, that's why I become a perfect. So that's the Srila Prabhupada. So, tadviti pranipatena pariprashnena seva. Prashna means question. So when you go to the spiritual master, guru or guide, we should ask questions and we should sevaya. Sevaya means we should serve. We should serve him. And upadekshanti te jnanam, because he can impart us knowledge. So we have to inquire about who am I, why I am suffering in this material world. I thought if I get graduated from engineering college, I would become very happy. IITs or ISCs or something. If I do some AIMS college or MBAs, I'll be happiest person. But when you come to the corporate world, then reality actually pushes and backside. Then parents say that okay, actually once you get salary, once you get married, you'll be the happiest person. Then we are in that hope of that. Prabhu is laughing. So thinking that we'll be happy, then you know what story. Then once you get kid, and then finally the story continues. But we should inquire that why I have these challenges. So those type of questions we should go and ask guide. Of course, we can ask material things that why I am suffering and all that, but not we should not ask if I have to get good job, shall I learn Python or artificial intelligence or machine learning or data science? No, that anybody Guru can Google can also give that. We don't have to go to Guru to ask this kind of questions. Do you agree that? So the mood of when we go to the spiritual master, we should ask that tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. So as Prabhu said that the guru should come in a disciplic succession, right? Just like when you go to the bona fide and authentic medical college, we go to that, right? The person who has got training from his guru, then he gives, and then the guru parampara, the succession comes. So similarly, Bhagavad Gita talks about that guru must come in a disciplic succession. What is the problem? What is the wrong if he is not in a disciplic succession, guru parampara? Evam parampara praptam 4.2. What is the problem if he is not in a parampara?
If he is not in parampara, like there is this shloka, if any different commentator have their different thoughts, but if he is coming from disciplic succession, he will have the same thing.
Okay.
Like the story will not change.
Okay, the storyline will not change. The principles will be the same. The applications may change depending upon the time, place, and circumstances, but the principle remains same. If I start my own parampara, which has I am the beginning and there is no predecessors to me, because I have my own limited knowledge, I have limited senses. To error is a human, and with that limited things, if I come up with my philosophy, that philosophy is bound to fail. So that is why we should have Guru Parampara, the person coming in a Guru Parampara who can give knowledge which is directly coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is why it's called as a Parampara. It's coming from the Lord. If we give knowledge, we'll have limited. That's why this version was a 6.8, 6.9 or whatever is that. It will keep changing because we are not perfect. But Bhagavad Gita, it was Bhagavad Gita yesterday. There was no 1.1 or 2.1, and in the future also the same Bhagavad Gita, because it is coming directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is a perfect. And that's why we have to connect to the perfect. Then we can actually become a Nimitta Matra Bhavya Savasachi. Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said 11th chapter 33 shloka. You become an instrument. So Guru Parampara means he become an instrument. He become a transparent medium to Krishna. So he connects Shishya, disciple, to Krishna. He just become a transparent medium. So that is the characteristics of a Guru. So what is the shloka? Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshya vidu sakalena mahata yogo nashta parantapa. Translation.
This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears to be is lost.
The science which as received, it comes in a disciplic session, Guru Parampara, and it was lost, and Krishna says, I came. So now where to go and where to find this parampara, right? Bona fide Guru. Now, okay, you told all those things, but where do you find all this parampara? So if you see that there is a shloka from Padma Purana, and it says, somebody would like to read, just read slowly so that we can actually have translation. Sampradaya vihina ye mantraste nishpala mata. If any mantra given by any guru who is not in a parampara, that mantra is a nishphala. Nishphala means it's no significant, it has no fruitful. Nishphala, it will not have any potency, it will not have any impact. Ataha kalo bhavishanti chatarvaha sampradaya. In the bhavishya, in Kali Yuga, there will be 4 types of chatur means 4 sampradaya. What are the 4 sampradaya? Sri, Brahma, Rudra, Shanaka, Vaishnava, Kshiti, Pavana, Chataswar. So there are 1 sampradaya, we'll see that coming from Sri, 1 sampradaya coming from Brahmadev, 1 sampradaya coming from Lord Shiva, 1 sampradaya coming from 4 Kumaras. And then there are great personalities which are Ramanujam Sri, then Madhvacharyam, then Sri Vishnu Swaminam, and then Nimbakacharya. So these are the four great personalities will come in a particular sampradaya. Translation. Are you able to see that? Can you read the translation?
All mantras which have been given to disciples, not in an authorized sampradaya, are fruitful
Nishfala.
or fruitless. Therefore, in Kali Yuga, there will be four bona fide sampradayas. Each of them were inaugurated by Sri
Devi,
and
known as Sri Sampradaya,
Sri Sampradaya, Lord Brahma
Brahma
and known
Sampradaya.
as Brahma Sampradaya, Lord Rudra and known as the Rudra Sampradaya, and the four Kumaras and known as Sanakadi Sampradaya.
Kumara
Sri Devi
Sampradaya.
made Ramanujacharya the head of that lineage. So too Lord Brahma appointed Madhvacharya. Lord Rudra appointed Vishnu Swami, and the four Kumaras chose
Nimbakacharya.
Nimbadi.
Nimbakacharya. So if you see that there are four sampradayas. What are the four sampradayas? Coming from Brahma, Shiva, and four Kumaras. And so you can see that each one of them there is a great acharyas who came on this Bharat Bhumi. And if you can see, so where ISKCON actually comes, right? We are actually coming in this Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, Gaudiya Sampradaya. If you see that Madhva Sampradaya, Srila Prabhupada is a 32nd Guru in that parampara, right? 32nd. So you can see starting from Lord Sri Krishna to Narada to Vyasa to Madhvacharya, then coming all the way to, you can see that Guru Parampara on the altar. We can see that Srila Prabhupada's Guru Bhakti Siddhanta, and then his Guru Go Kishore Das Babaji, then his Guru Bhakti Vinod Thakur, then Jagannath Das Babaji, and it goes all the way. So this International Society for Krishna Consciousness comes in a bona fide Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So today we are going to talk about such a great Acharya Srila Prabhupada. So far, are you clear that what we discussed? Do I need guide? Are we ready for a guide? What are the different types of guide? What are the characteristics of guide? Right? Any questions? Quick question before we move to the important point here, section here about Srila Prabhupada.
Guru Parampara continues even in ISKCON.
Oh yes, even today, Guru Parampara continues. If we miss that Guru Parampara, then actually we are violating 4.2 of Bhagavad Gita. Evam Parampara Praptam. So it has to come in a Guru Parampara. The moment actually it breaks, we are losing that. Just like suppose there is a mango tree and that mango is there on the top, right? Top branch. So if you have to if somebody throw directly, it will actually get, it will get waste. So it comes in a parampara from one branch to the other branch to the other branch, and the person who is holding finally takes, and then he actually can benefit. But yes, Prabhu. So if not, then it will be lost.
Actually, you told that it will be 5,000 years, but there are only 32 gurus.
Yes. So if you see Madhvacharya came very recently, right? So you would have calculated, right? Oh, okay, now 100 years and 32 is 3200. So what about 1,800 years, right? This is the very calculative things. Good to be inquisitive, but yes, if you see that Madhvacharya directly got from Vyasadeva, right? If you see that number 2, Vyasadeva, right? So if you see Badrikasam, so Vyasadeva went there and he got a direct. So Vyasadeva is nothing but the incarnation of. And where did Vyasadeva got? Where did he get the knowledge? He got the knowledge from Narada, and Narada got from Brahma. Tene Brahma Hruday Adi Kavai. So Krishna gave this knowledge to Brahma. Brahma gave to Narada. Narada gave to Vyasa. Vyasa gave to Madhvacharya. And it comes in a discipline succession. Any other question from Mataji's side?
Prabhuji, we have a list of pointers for the guides. Is there a list of pointers for the Shishyas also?
Oh, very good question. Very good. What should be the qualities of a disciple, right? Very difficult. It is okay to talk about others, not about me. In fact, this is not mentioned here, but let us hear from the audience here. What should be the qualification of a Shishya? Very good point. Pointers.
He should surrender to
We actually pointed to the 4.34, Tadvidi Pranipatena. So it should be surrendering to surrender. Okay. The first is the humility. You cannot go in challenging mood and ask questions. One should be humble. Sometimes people say why we should be having this and all those things. Of course, Corona has told us that you cannot shake hands, so you have to be like this. Our Vedic culture always the Satyam Param, right? It's always victorious. So so Tadvidi Pranipatena, one should be humble. What else?
Strong devotion.
Devotion to Lord Sri Krishna. Yes, devotion. We can have devotion to somebody else also, but we should have devotion to the Supreme Lord,
Devotion to Lord.
Lord Krishna. Yes. Disciple means discipline. If I don't have discipline, one day I get up at 9 o'clock, next day 10 o'clock, and Sunday don't ask, we don't know when is breakfast and lunch together, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and sleep. By the way, when I was in the United States, our neighbors were bachelors, and their weekend was very particular, very peculiar. So they start at 5 o'clock p.m. and then you know what activity they will do. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 1, 2, 3 mornings, Saturday early morning they will sleep 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And then Saturday noon time they will get up with the eyes are swollen red and all things, and they will have some uta, some lunch and something, and again they sleep. Get up Saturday evening 4, 5 o'clock and another spell, and then continue that. So disciple means shishya means shista, discipline. What else? Huh? Obedient. They should be obedient servant. Adnya dharak. Huh? Curiosity to learn. He should be inquisitive. Otherwise, okay, I don't know. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Vedanta Sutra says, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now you got this human form of life, we should inquire why I am suffering in this human form of life. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. One should be inquisitive. What else? Gratitude is the seed of love. One should be very gratitude. Right? Today, once there was a cricket match on this. What is the stadium here? Chinnaswamy Stadium. And when you day-night match, there is a lot of lights, flood lights, and all things, right? So somebody was inquisitive and he was asking question. See, if I have to get this light, I have to pay for that. But we get throughout year, we get the light because of Surya Dev. Did we ever even say thank to Surya Dev? Did we ever pay bill to Surya Dev? What to talk about that? During Corona, we are all suffering for the cylinders, right? Did we ever say that Vayu Devata, thank you that because of that? So, because we are never grateful to Lord. Today we are here. There might be challenging situation, but there are definitely some good thing in our life, and we should be very grateful for that. And the moment we become grateful for that, actually we become very peaceful. We say, thanks Krishna that because of you we are here. Otherwise, imagine that if you have to pay bill like Chinnaswamy Stadium or like oxygen cylinder, I don't know how much bill was there. Like people were suffering really during the Corona, right? In the lakhs, 5 digit and 6 digit was the bill if you are in hospitalized, right? Imagine that throughout the life, if Vayu Devata comes at the end of that, Baba, this is your bill. And Surya Devata says, this is your electric bill, more than a base com, right? What will we do? Will be in the challenges, we will not be able to pay. So we are grateful to all these personalities. But if we actually become grateful to Lord Krishna, automatically all those things get. So we are grateful to 7 personalities, our parents, our teachers, other living entities, devatas, so many things we are grateful actually. We should be grateful. And that is the Vedic culture. We are grateful. Today we forget about becoming grateful to our parents. We are becoming ungrateful. We are putting them in a Vruddhasrama. But it is just a matter of time that today we are keeping our parents in Vruddhasrama. Time is ticking and tomorrow we will be in Vruddhasrama. I don't know what will be the situation. Maybe worse than that. We forgot everything. We are here today in this material world because of our parents, and we forget that. We are so ungrateful. Because parents are, it has become trouble, right? It's a disturbances. I want to live my own life. Why this parent? You go to the hometown and live. I will give money, but don't trouble me. This is an ungrateful heart. My understanding, this is not coming in Guru Parampara, that because we started using this use and throw, this glass use and throw, this use and throw. So in relationship also we are becoming use and throw. Parent, as long as they have money, we take that money. The moment money finished, okay, use and throw. Like this is what. And it is extending to the limit that it is coming in a relationship. Vivaha is such a wonderful sanskara. Now today Vivaha, you don't need Vivaha. You just come together. This morning the Prabhu was saying, right? You co-live, just temporary. As long as your desires are fulfilled, you live together and then you disperse. Where are we heading? Such a wonderful Bharat Varsha, this Vedic culture. And if we don't become, and we don't follow this Vedic culture, the greatest thing that what we have seen in last 10 years here in this ACS land, all the parents want their next generation to become God conscious. They should follow Bhagavad Gita, they should read Bhagavad Gita. But for parents, I'm happy with my cell phone. So how can we actually teach our next generation? We are a guide to our next generation. When they see that you are seeing cell phone and you are asking that you read Bhagavad Gita, how is it possible? By the way, we had Gopalan, we started Bhagavad Gita shlokas on Saturdays for our community there. So then the parents initially came one Saturday, second Saturday, and after third or fourth Saturday, the parents are very smart. So they started putting their kids and they started going to the shopping. So you take care of our kids, and by the time we come from shopping, and so this is what happens, right? Kids or daycare or whatever is that. So okay, you take care of our kids and we go to school. How can our kids actually next generation follow God consciousness unless we show by our own example? And then finally we complain and say, oh, my son is not listening. Did we listen to our parent? Did we show example? No. It's such a wonderful Vedic culture and we are losing. That is the great agony, that is the pain. And we are running behind the Western culture by blindfolded and saying that this will give the highest happiness. The real happiness is actually in Vedic culture. Yatma suprasiddhati. Ahitukya pratihata yatma suprasiddhati. Savai pumsa paro dharmo. The nature or the dharma of all the living entities. Savai pumsa paro dharmo yathor bhaktir adhoksaje. The nature, the dharma of all the living entities to engage in a devotional service of adhoksaja, which is nothing but Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Ahetuki apratihata, without any hetu, without without any disturbance. Yayatma suprasiddhati. And when we engage in such a devotional service, we become actually suprasiddhati, we become happy. Leaving that and we do all other things is like a fish out of water. No matter whatever, we have this phone, this money, that money, this. Finally, we are going to have challenges. Unless and until we come to the spirituality, we will not have a peace of mind. Ashanti kuthasva sukham, 2.63. We discussed that. Ashanti kuthasva sukham. When there is no shanti, how can we have sukham? Yes, Prabhuji, boliye.
Yeah. Actually, you told that about this soul bit. Can you go back in the slide?
By the way, we have another 15-20 minutes and we are 6:43. Today you are going to curse me, but please bear with me. Which shloka? Which shloka?
Wherein you say that surrender the soul. So how can we surrender the soul? It is only mind which we can, right?
Oh, that is Tadviti Pranipatena. Here.
Yeah. So you are saying that, like, how do we do
Okay.
the soul?
So there are some practical things that how we can express our surrender, right? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of our acharyas, says that accept things which are favorable to Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. Reject the things which are not favorable. And the best way by showing our surrender in this age of Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Kale Nastev Gatiranyata. In this age of Kali, the best way of surrender to Krishna is chanting
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So we have to become disciples. We have to follow the rules and regulations. Don't do these things. 4 rules and regulations. We discussed, right? 4 things we should be avoiding, right? Did we discuss that in the sinful session? What are the 4 things we should avoid that? Intoxication,
Meat
eating,
illicit
sex, and gambling. And of course, the all others are danger, but not go into that meat eating. Now here Krishna said that the sadhu is a surudam sarva dehinam. He is a well-wisher, krupana, merciful to all the living entities, including meat. That person. How can we kill someone and eat that? We are not even a human being. For example, somebody comes and pinches me, and then will I be happy by doing that? How is that I will kill someone and I eat and I become happy? No way. Absolutely no way. Doors are closed. How can we be happy when we kill others? How can we be happy when we trouble others? Absolutely no way. He's not even human beings. Then we say that we are actually becoming like animalistic life. If we eat animal, we become like animal. So there are 4 rules we should follow. Srila Prabhupada said that by following the 4 rules, it's not that we become devotee. He said you just become a human citizen. You are just normal human beings, and then you practice God consciousness, you become bhakta. So following 4 regulative principle is not a big thing. It was followed in Vedic culture. It was just a normal things. Today it becomes Bhakti Siddhanta. Srila Prabhupada's guru asked his disciples, their sannyasi, go to the Europe and you spread this message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And he went there, and so one European, especially from Britain, he was very much inquisitive. He said that I want to become Brahmana. And then this sannyasi, disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, said that you have to do 4 things. He said, what are those 4 things? Meat eating, gambling, illicit sex. And he said, impossible. And if you ask in India, it's so easy to follow 4. It's not so difficult. Of course, today, I was just going through the statistics. Yesterday we were in Guru Ayur, and so just around Guru Ayur and all those places, all meat eating places. So where are we heading? Because there are customers, so people are going, what to talk, even Vrindavan, Mathura, there are, what do you call this, these chains, McDonald's and all those stuff. So difficult. How can we have such a horrible things? So statistics shows that, especially in Kerala, 60% are of course different faith. Remaining 40% are there. Out of that, 20 to 30% are atheist. Out of remaining 10 to 15% are, even if they are theist, still they are not, following these 4 religions. So what is the only few percentage of the people are now even eligible to even, because if we are like animalistic lifestyle, we cannot even understand God consciousness. The tattva we cannot even understand. If you are eating meat, it's next to impossible. You cannot even understand that. So the statistics is very alarming that the way the vegetarian percentage is dropping or the non-vegetarian percentage is going up. Of course, this was another detour, but something that is so thing that if we kill animals, we cannot be happy. This is the bottom line. I just wanted to tell you. I am repeating, but because it hurts when people kill animals. It hurts. It's very painful, and we will never become happy. Okay, let's come back to founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhuji, boli.
Guru is having, he can reject his Shishya.
Yes. Guru can reject a Shishya. Yes, he can reject. If he is not having the proper attitude, then he can reject. What to talk about? Even Shishya can also reject a Guru. And one example from Srimad Bhagavatam. Recently we celebrated Vamana Dwadasi. Bali Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj and his Guru was? Shukracharya said, don't give charity to this Brahmana, he will cheat. He said, no. Anybody comes to my place, I will give. So because he was going against, so he rejected Guru. But of course, we have to be very careful. Yes, but Guru can reject the Shishya. If he finds that he is not following rules and regulations, he can reject. Even before Guru reject, the Shishya himself will actually drop out. So no need Guru to say that you are lost. He said, I am not, because he will become so shameful. He will not come in front of that, right? That you told me not to do this and I am doing. He himself will be lost actually. Shall we start? 6:49. This is a wonderful shloka from Chaitanya. Anybody Bengali here? भारत भूमि ते हैले मनुष्य जन्म यार जन्म सार्थक करे कर पर उपकार. You want to sing, Mata? Somebody was singing? Yes, Mata. You want to sing? Varsha Mata, you are singing? भारत भूमि ते हैले
मनुष्य जन्म यार जन्म सार्थक
कर पर उपकार. Bharat Bhumite Haile Manusya Janma Yara. Those who are taken a birth in this Bharat. Okay, let's read translation. माता जी यू कैन रीड ट्रांसलेशन, आप रीड कर सकते हैं.
One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people.
भारत भूमि ते अहिले मनुष्य जन्माएर, इफ यू आर born दिस भारत भूमि, जन्म सार्थक करे. फर्स्ट मेक युअर लाइफ सक्सेसफुल एंड देन कर पर उपकार, then you help others. So that is the culture of Vedas. You yourself become God consciousness, then you help others. So that's why if you see our ISKCON, this all volunteers, why they are actually calling you throughout all the week and sitting here 2 to 3 hours. Nobody is paying. Kalyan Prabhu, is somebody paying for you for this service? Nobody is paying, right? Here some Varsha Mataji or this somebody is paying, nobody is paying. Why they are doing? Because they understand it is a responsibility of the people who are born in this Bharat Varsha. That I got something better, I want to share that with others. Bharat Bhumi te haile Manushya Jan, very, very high responsibility. We are not ordinary souls who are born in Bharat Varsha. We have a lot of facility but comes with the responsibility. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already told, whether you do or not, Prithvite achayate nagarati grama sarvatra prachara haive moranam. He said that whether you do it or not, it is already prophecy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told 500 years ago that whether you preach or don't preach, my name will be sang all over the world. Prithvite achayate nagarati grama, every all nagara and grama, sarvatra prachara haive moranam. My name will be distributed, my name will be chanted, my name will be sang throughout the world. Translation.
In every town and village throughout the world, said Lord Chaitanya, the chanting of my name will be heard.
If you go to US, you will see that devotee chanting on the road, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, If you go to South America, you will find the people. If you go to the Europe, you will find the people. If you go to the Middle East, you will find the people. If you go to Pakistan, you will find some people. We have Bhagavad Gita in Urdu. If you go to the Asia Pacific, people chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And this is because of one great personality, and he is none other than His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So this is our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. This whole, the greatness, of course, will come to the Prabhupada's greatness. He was born in 1896 in Kolkata. So we'll just have a quick snapshot of his life. So we should understand that because today people have a lot of misunderstanding thanks to WhatsApp Guru, that these ISKCON people have a lot of money, they cheat people, and there's so many things. You will see that how Prabhupada had actually created this society. And why did he go to US, by the way? We'll come to that topic. It's not because our people were not ready to hear him. At the age of 4, Srila Prabhupada started spontaneously worshipping his deities. He had inclination for worshipping Radha and Krishna because his family was a devotee family. It's in Kolkata, Abhay Charan. From the childhood that he will have his own Ratha Yatra. Who knows that the same person down the line in his life will actually bring this Ratha Yatra throughout the world, all over the world. If you see any part of great cities in the world today, this Ratha Yatra is being celebrated. You know, before ISKCON was founded, this Ratha Yatra was mainly celebrated in Bengal and Odisha. Odisha and Bengal. Odisha is the Jagannath Puri Ratha Yatra, right? It comes in the month of July. Srila Prabhupada made this Ratha Yatra famous all over the world. You go to any big part. I was in Detroit, we had in July Ratha Yatra. If you go to the Australia, there is a Ratha Yatra. If you go to the Los Angeles, there is West Coast, there is a Ratha Yatra. If you go to the Europe, there is a Ratha Yatra. If you go to the New Zealand, you have Ratha Yatra. Sydney, Australia, you have Ratha Yatra. So Srila Prabhupada, from the childhood, he did not have money. Once he was crying to his father that, can you bring me Rath cart? And then he was crying, father said that I don't have money, I cannot afford to have this Ratha for you. Then one lady was passing by and she heard, what do you want? Then she actually sponsored a Rath for Srila Prabhupada, Abhay. His name was Abhay. And then Srila Prabhupada, actually he had such a good qualities that he had leadership qualities. So immediately he gathered all these small kids and said, let's celebrate the Ratha Yatra. And that Ratha Yatra now is being celebrated all over the world. When he was actually, so he was born 1896. We just celebrated his 125th years last year. his appearance day come just after Janmashtami, very next day. So the followers of Srila Prabhupada, followers of ISKCON, we observe the next day of Janmashtami also as a upavas. We do the fasting as a remembrance of our founder Acharya Srila. So Prabhupada, he was actually in 1920, when he was 24-year-old, he joined the Scottish Church College for graduation, one of the top college in Kolkata. He was very much attracted at that time. Mahatma Gandhiji started this non-cooperation, and so he was very much attracted by this, and Abhay Charan became very supportive of Gandhi, and of course later he was very much impressed by Subhash Chandra Bose. In fact, Subhash Chandra Bose also did his college from the same college. He did his graduation or whatever education from the same college. But in 1922 come a turning point in his life. Srila Prabhupada was a 26-year-old, and one of his friends said, actually in Kolkata there is one sadhu came from Mayapur. Let's go and meet him. And Srila Prabhupada said, you know that the sadhus, they would come, and he was not very, but one of his friends pushed him, let's go and see what the sadhu says. And Srila Prabhupada went there, and as soon as it was evening time, and if you see that center, that is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami, who is at the center, and he was giving a pravachan, and Srila Prabhupada goes there. And as soon as Srila Prabhupada goes there, and then he said, without even understanding who is this person, because Srila Prabhupada went first time, Abhay, that time his name was Abhay, he went first time and he said that, you young person, you know English, you go and spread the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam to the all English speaking people. Can you imagine who in the world will tell you in the first meeting and you don't even know who is this? And he told him that you go and spread the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada was actually very much attached to this our movement of freedom movement. He said, what is the use of your bhakti? All people, we are actually under the British rule. It would be better first we become independent and then we practice. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur defeated Srila Prabhupada so nicely, and Prabhupada was such a intelligent person that nobody would defeat him. But that day, even though Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur defeated, he was very happy. And in that first meeting, he accepted Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur as his spiritual master. And you see on the altar, the next to the Srila Prabhupada is his guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And that instruction, imagine the instruction given in 1922. 1922. This reference will come after 43 years that Srila Prabhupada actually manifested that instruction. So what was the first instruction given by his spiritual master? That you go to the Western countries and spread the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And then later as a family man, he went to Prayagraj, Allahabad, and he started his pharmacy business. And his spiritual master's instruction was there. He was meditating, how can I do this? How can I execute this instruction? That instruction becomes his life and soul. That is the guru, that is the Shishya. Shishya takes the instruction of Guru very seriously. That becomes his life, and the whole life is meditating. In 1933, finally, officially, he got initiation from his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And after 3 years, Saraswati Thakur left his body, and before leaving, he also gave another instruction to him that if you get money in the future, print book and distribute these books. So this is the second instruction that he got. And that's why you will see people of ISKCON, they will come, please take this Bhagavad Gita. And then the people will comment, why are you wasting your time? You are graduate, please get job. Why are you wasting doing all this nonsense here? Better you actually get job and you will be happy rather than distributing the books on the road. People, our devotees will go and train, they will distribute, because this is the instruction given by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. And when as a Shishya's duty is the Guru's, whatever the Guru's instruction becomes our duty. So Srila Prabhupada actually did that. And 1944, when the World War II was going, Srila Prabhupada started a Back to Godhead magazine, BTG. Even today, it has been translated in multiple languages, Back to Godhead. So when he saw that all this, there was a bankruptcy of the spiritual knowledge, Prabhupada said that is a good opportunity. Let me actually start. Because finally his objective goal was that to to spread this God consciousness to the Western. So somehow he was attempting, trying to the different ways. And you know what he would do? He would actually be in Vrindavan. Then he would stay in a small place there. He would write his own articles. He himself will become proofreading. Then he will come to Delhi. He will find some sponsor. Then he request them, please publish this Back to Godhead magazine. And he himself will actually distribute Back to Godhead magazine. Single-handed. And by the time he is already 46 or 50-year-old. Once he was distributing Back to Godhead magazine in a Delhi summer hot, and one cow came and knocked him down, and Prabhupada actually fell down, became unconscious because of such a summer hot condition. He did everything single-handedly. Why? Because his life was dedicated that I wanted to do para upakara. Right? Bharat bhumite hele manushya janma yara janma sarthaka kare kara para upakara. 1953, Srila Prabhupada, it is not that Srila Prabhupada did not try to do this God consciousness in India. He tried. He established League of Devotees in Jhansi in 1953. But we Indians were mesmerized by the Western culture and we are not ready to take that knowledge. And Prabhupada knew that, he was very visionary, that if I tell these Indian people, they will not take. But if I go and give to the Western people, and when these Western people will come to the Bharat Bhumi, and when these Indian people will see these Western people chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, and then they will follow, because we have that mentality, whatever Western skin, white skin does, we follow that. And Prabhupada said that these are my white elephant, and this is what exactly happened. When Prabhupada went and all these foreign US, especially from New York, they become a follower of Srila Prabhupada. He brought all of them to India, and then India were, oh, what happened, who is this? And then there was a wave of that 1967, 1977, and then Indian opened their eyes, what is this? And they started taking this God consciousness. So it was not that Srila Prabhupada did not try in India. It was from the materialized, it was a failure, but it was always success, because he was trying to execute the instruction of his spiritual master. This is the room in Vrindavan, 1954. He left his family and decided to make Vrindavan as his place of residence, and he stays in Radha Damodar temple. If you go to Vrindavan, Radha Damodar temple is one of the wonderful 6 Goswamis, one of the 6 Jiva Goswamis temple, and there is a small room there. If you go today, that room is still maintained by ISKCON, and you can see that he would actually do cooking by himself, do all proofreading and do everything. And it is here that he started working on his life's masterpiece of translation and commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. He started there in 1954. And 1959, he accepted sannyasa order, and then he the title given was A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Bhakti Vedanta. So the conclusion of all the Vedas is a bhakti. That Srila Prabhupada understood, and he preached by his own example. If you see, Prabhupada's, have you read Bhagavad Gita? Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he talks about Dhyana Yoga, right? If you see, if you typically see 6th chapter, it is like that you sit straight, focus on that, you sit on the grass, kusha grass, and that, and then you sit and meditate. And Prabhupada write in the purport that you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because Prabhupada understood what is the conclusion of the Veda. Bhakti Vedanta. So the conclusion of all the Veda, Veda Anta, conclusion of all the Veda is a Bhakti, and that's why the title was given to Prabhupada as Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, so that he can spread the Bhakti to all over the world. 1964, so what he would do, he will go to the different peoples, please see this Bhagavatam. So by the time he already had a Bhagavatam, we have Bhagavatam there, right? Bhagavatam, right? Canto 1, Canto 2, Canto 3. Can we get Canto 1 is there? Here, on the shelf. So Prabhupada already 3 volumes of first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he made Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastriji, and he presented his Bhagavatam, and Lal Bahadur Shastri was so happy, and he was very happy, and he said that Swamiji's book should be put all over the library of, in not only India but all over the world. This is a Srimad Bhagavatam Srila Prabhupada started. Before he went to United States, he had, thank you Prabhu, he had first canto. So there are 12 cantos, 18 books. Prabhupada started, and he actually presented to Lal Bahadur Shastriji, then Prime Minister of India. And Shastriji said that Swamiji's book should be all over all the libraries all over the world. And then Srila Prabhupada was trying, 1965. When was he got the instruction? 1922. Already 43 years. Now sometimes you can imagine, sometimes we do something in life and then we don't get success in 1 month or 2 months and then we give up. Srila Prabhupada did not give up for 43 years. He was trying, going to different politicians, different sponsors, please help me. They would say that, Swamiji, why you want to go to US? You are already 69 by this time. There is already sub-zero temperature. You don't know anyone there. You don't have any followers there. What would you do with that? And you don't have money also. He said, no, you please help me. I want to go to United States. And that is the determination. That is the unwavering attitude. Vyavasayatmika buddhir eke kurunandana bhaushaka hi anantacha buddhi vyavasayana. Bhagavad Gita 2.41. Krishna says that is the vyavasayatmika buddhi. Single pointed focus. I wanted to execute the instruction of my spiritual master, no matter what happens at the age of 65. Can you imagine going to the US at the age of 69? You don't have money, you don't have ticket, you don't have any follower there, and you don't know anyone there. So he went to one Scindia corporation, to one ma'am from Mumbai. Somebody told, if you go to her, she will help. So he went once, and he requested, can you help me for sponsoring this? Then she said, okay, I will sponsor Swamiji your 3 cantos of 3 volumes of Bhagavatam. And then again, second time he went. And second time when he went, that security guard on the road, he said, on the office, he said, where do you, I want to meet ma'am. He said, no. Why do you want? No, I wanted to get sponsorship. Because Scindia ma'am had Scindia corporations where, they will do some business, right? So they will send some good from here to Western countries. So Srila Prabhupada was expecting some kind of help from Sumati Morarji, Scindia Corporation chairman, that she would help that ma'am. So this person did not allow. Then he said, okay, at least you go and tell ma'am that I want help. And then the security or whoever is that goes to our PA, and then he told that Swamiji came outside and he wanted help. Why does he want help, or why did he want help? Then he says that he wanted to go to US. Yes, why does he want to go at this age of 69? It will be failure. There is no guarantee that he would even come back. Then Swamiji tried couple of times. Finally, then he preached him how to talk to ma'am. And finally said, okay, forget, let me go. But he did not allow. Then he was actually standing on the steps for 6 hours. And when ma'am came out, and then she said, what Swamiji, what can I do? And then I want your help. Please help me my sponsorship for the United States of America. And finally, somehow, she did not agree. Prabhupada convinced, give me one opportunity. And then finally she gave a ticket. And that was on this Jaladuta. Duta means messenger, Jaladuta. It is very symbolic that person who is going on that will be actually messenger of Bhakti. Bhakti Duta, who is actually spreading the messenger. And what Srila Prabhupada had? He had 40 rupees in his hand. He carried his umbrella, he carried his typewriter, and he carried a cooker where we have some lower pot and upper pot, and on the upper pot you will make dal, and lower pot you make a rice one shot, so you can have rice and dal if nothing there. And then 13th August 1965, 35 plus 12, 57, right? 57 years ago, Srila Prabhupada started his journey having 40 rupees in his hand. And can you imagine today, if today people, all of us, when you go to US, HR or somebody will give a ticket to you. Here is a ticket, here is a room booked for you. And if you go there, the person will come and he will have a welcome board you that holding on the airport. And Srila Prabhupada writes in diary that when I actually landed in Boston Harbor, I don't know whether I should take left, should I take right, or should I go straight. That was the situation. All he has in 40 rupees equivalent to $7 in his hand. That was the situation of Srila Prabhupada. And on the journey also it was not easy. Today we go United States within less than 24 hours, right? Srila Prabhupada took 37 days to reach to the United States of America, New York Harbor, and from New York to the Boston another 2 days. And finally he reached after 37 days. And on that, during the 37 days, he had 2 severe heart attacks. And one more severe heart attack means he would not have survived. So many challenges. He had a seasick, right? If you go to the sea for a longer period of time, you become sick. You get nausea, seeing that again and again. So Prabhupada had that. Despite all those things, And he, at this point of time, he was saying that now what will I do? When I go to the Western countries, these people are against all the four regulative principles. They eat meat, they do all this nonsense. How am I supposed to take this bhakti marga to all of them? They don't know who is Lord Sri Krishna. Today, you all are coming here, you know who is Krishna, right? And he is going to preach people who don't know even who is Krishna, who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he is going to talk about all the four regulative principles. The answer would be impossible. And he writes in his Jaladuta 1965 diary, he writes, "Oh my Lord, I don't know why did you bring me here. You must have some message, you must have some mission here. I don't know how these people will take this message. But now you have brought me here. Please make me dance. Please make me dance. Please make me dance as you wish." A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, September 1965. So he didn't know what will I do. So that is the situation of Srila Prabhupada. Somehow he went to the Butler, Pennsylvania. There was some Agrawalji's son was actually migrated to US, and they said, okay, you come here for a month. Swamiji stayed there, and then they were all meat eaters. So the same place where Prabhupada used to cook, they used to have in the same refrigerator where Prabhupada has also vegetarian food and non-vegetarian. You can imagine great Acharya doing all those things only for one thing, that how can I give this message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam? Para Upakar. That is the greatness of Bharatvarsha. Once Prabhupada ji asked Swamiji in Britain, another journalist, Swamiji, why did you come to UK? He said, you people, you came to India, right? You looted everything, you took everything, but you forgot one thing. What is that? The message of Bhagavad Gita, and that is why I came to here to give you. You came to India to take something. I did not come to take something, but I came to your country to give something, and that is the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada has so many challenging situations. He was living with all these hippies, those who were drug addicts and all those people. Some of them become follower, and they were living with Prabhupada. One day one follower he became drunk, and night time he came and he started attacking Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada at the age of 70 in New York, he was actually running, and the person behind him and chasing him, and some other well-wisher helped him. And then somebody stolen his typewriter. Not only that, they would have got some dollars out of that. They would have stolen as an antique piece, and they would have got some money. And then he wrote manuscript of Bhagavad Gita. The whole manuscript of Bhagavad Gita, somebody stolen that. Can you imagine that Prabhupada has written all this purport, Tatparya, and somebody took before even printing there. Today, if we on WhatsApp, if you write some message and it gets deleted, oh my God! And Prabhupada now has to write the whole Bhagavad Gita. I'm getting message that we are too late, 7:13 p.m. Krishna. Prabhupada's life is such a wonderful that actually we will nothing but cry at the end of that. That is what Srila Prabhupada. And that is why we become grateful to Srila Prabhupada. Not because he actually gave money or something, because he did something he dedicated his life for Krishna. And when he dedicated his life for Krishna as a follower of Srila Prabhupada, we dedicate our life for Srila Prabhupada. 1966. So first time Srila Prabhupada, now he has some followers. Every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, he would have Bhagavad Gita class like this. He would give a class. He would himself will cook for them. He would put gulab jamun sweet for them. And after that, he will wash, clean everything, and again ready for next day. Can you imagine at the age of 70-year-old, who will do that? And somebody will come and give some money, and they were living together. Not that. They don't even know what do you mean by Swamiji and how to treat them. Even somebody stolen Srila Prabhupada's clothes. And when they go to, they have only one restroom, and then all these people will also come, and then Prabhupada will also stand along with him. They don't know that what etiquettes. They don't even know that we are supposed to take daily bath. They are not supposed to even know that when we drink, we are not supposed to touch. Prabhupada taught them all those things. And 1966, in Tompkins Square Park in New York Park, Srila Prabhupada first time went and had a public kirtan on the foreign land. This is the first time in the history of the humankind that somebody did a public kirtan in that, and that public kirtan became such a success that it became a stepping stone of Srila Prabhupada's mission after 1 year. This is 1960. So he landed in New York 1965, September. 1 year he was struggling, it was not easy. And after 1966, this first public kirtan, if you go to Tompkins Square Park today in New York, and that park, there is a tree. Arm tree, ALM. Under that tree, Prabhupada did Kirtan, and there is a memorandum or the plaque, which actually, if you see that black, which says that this is the Hare Krishna tree. Under this tree, Swami Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada did first time public Kirtan, and that public Kirtan becomes success, and that tree is called as Hare Krishna tree. Can you imagine? That is the Srila Prabhupada. Then 1966, after 1 year, he started International Society for Krishna Consciousness, where they were, Prabhupada and 5-7 well-wishers, they were ready to become, I don't know what, the board of trustee or something, and they were in a sub portion of New York, not even a whole New York city. And then they asked Swamiji, what will be the name of our organization? Swamiji said, our organization will be International Society for Krishna Consciousness. They were amazed, because this is not even New York, not even the US, not even the North continent or the North America or South America. And Srila Prabhupada is visioning that International Society for Krishna Consciousness, 1966. In 2016, we celebrated the 50th years of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So gradually, Srila Prabhupada started publishing all the books. Next 12 years, can you imagine any entrepreneur in this world? He had only 40 rupees, and next 12 years, he had so many things. He had 108 temples, 5,000 disciples, and so many properties, but of course in the name of Krishna. What did he do what is the contribution of Srila Prabhupada? He introduced the whole India's culture, Vedic culture, to the whole world. If you go to any big cities, we have a Hare Krishna temple there. That is the contribution of Srila Prabhupada. So during Srila Prabhupada's, so next 12 years, so Srila Prabhupada started 1965. He left his body in 1977. So 12 years. So he went all over the world 14 times. Now by plane now, because all his followers started sponsoring and all things, and then it became a big movement. And then Prabhupada became famous, and Indians now started talking about. Before that, he was writing a letter, please help me. Politicians, he wrote the Prime Minister, please help me. Nobody helped Srila Prabhupada. None of his God brothers helped. He introduced the Gurukula system. You see that foreign people, they started we are taking their culture, they are taking our culture. He started distributing the books of Srila Prabhupada all over the world. If you go to that time, people would actually go to the airport and do that book distribution throughout the day. All the Western, especially the US people, they would distribute the books of Srila Prabhupada. He gave sanskaras, viha sanskaras, marriage, initiation. He gave initiation to 5,000 disciples, made them brahmanas. Some people asked Swamiji, what is, can you do some miracle, chamatkar? He said, what chamatkar do you want? I converted all these hippies into happies. The journalists all challenging question, they would ask, Prabhupada is such a great intellect that he would actually defeat everybody. And he gave disciples. He made those people who said that Brahmana, impossible, I cannot become Brahmana. And they took initiation and they started following the Vedic culture. How great we are feeling because of Srila Prabhupada. Somebody from I don't know how many kilometers from here, they are following our culture, and we are following somebody's culture. How painful is that? He would write books, all these books. When he would write, now his institute become now international. He has followers all over the world. So there are programs, there are letters, there are so many things. So then night 10 o'clock he would sleep. He will get up 1 o'clock early morning, and from 1 o'clock till morning 6 o'clock alone, full dedicated, he would actually write and give translation and tatparya of all his books. And in the next 15 years, Prabhupada has distributed 50 crores of book distribution all over the world in multiple languages, around 30 to 35 languages, including Urdu language. Srila Prabhupada's books are distributed. Even Chinese now are getting translated. Recently, Bhagavatam is getting translated in Chinese language. Even till last minute, he was actually using his microphone and dictaphone. He was actually giving commentary on Bhagavatam. When Srila Prabhupada left, he did not complete. He completed till 10th canto. 10th canto, 13th chapter, 14th chapter is what Srila Prabhupada actually, till last minute, he was actually giving that commentary about Bhagavatam. So the humility of Srila Prabhupada, that if you see any organization, that the person who is the founder, he will keep himself at the center. How many of you know about Srila Prabhupada before coming to ISKCON? Very few. Because Srila Prabhupada, because of his humility, he never kept himself at the center of organization. Srila Prabhupada's organization center is Krishna. And when we keep Krishna in center, automatically we become famous. Even today, Srila Prabhupada left his body in 1977, 23, 22. So 45 years later, Srila Prabhupada's mission is growing multifold in India, Russia, China. And the most growing community of ISKCON is in Russia and China. Why? Because he kept Krishna in the center. That is the greatness of Srila Prabhupada. He wrote more than 80 volumes of book, traveled 14 times in 12 years, established 100 temples, gurukulas, farm communities, initiated 5,000 plus disciples all over the world, did all this at the age of 70 and 82 years. So challenging. Today, even 40 or 45, we have lower back problem, this problem, that problem. And that's why I have to do this, that. Prabhupada did at the age of 69-year-old. CNN did a survey in 2010 that who are the top great personalities who launched their career at the age of 50, and Srila Prabhupada was in a top 10. So many great personalities talking about Srila Prabhupada. The Encyclopedia of Britannia in 1976, they actually gave the award of 1976. They said that Swamiji contributed to this by 12 volumes of books in a span of 1 year, 1966. So that was the award that gave so greatness for Srila Prabhupada. Today we are here because Srila Prabhupada not been done all those things. We would not be here, we would not be discussing about Krishna Katha, we would not be discussing about Bhagavad Gita. So that is why when we are actually here, it's because of a great personality. And then when we actually become our life grateful, gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, that Srila Prabhupada wanted this message to distribute to all the people. And follower of Srila Prabhupada, we start doing that, the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. We'll end here. 7:30. You are going to curse me today. I'll get many curses. I'm sorry, but what to do? Srila Prabhupada's life is like this, that when we hear about Srila Prabhupada, our life actually becomes, our heart gets melted. Our hearts gets melted. Srila Prabhupada ki. Yay. Any question? Can you please move a little forward? That's all. Kids wanted what done?
Whatever they have done today, we want.
Yeah, please come forward. Any other question meanwhile about Srila Prabhupada ISKCON? So you can see that how many challenges this ISKCON movement, and today we say that these people actually, there was some propaganda that these people spend money from here to the Western country. Who is telling like this? You go and see what they are doing. In fact, Srila Prabhupada in early days, we used to get his followers used to send money from the Western country here. Bachche log aa jaiye. What is that you want to present here?
First you will start with Hare Krishna.
Can you come here? Can you remove this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji. So today we have engaged the kids in sharing the Govardhan Leela pastime, and also followed by Bhagavad